You'll never believe which classic board game the royal kids aren't allowed to play.
After learning this startling truth, you'll never wish to be a prince or princess in the British royal family. Contrary to the media's portrayal of a life of luxury, royal children face a daily struggle with countless strict rules imposed by the palace. Insiders reveal that their childhood is entirely stifled and joyless, making them the most unhappy children in the world. To see for yourself, take a look at these 15 stringent rules that royal children must adhere to. Number 1. Royal children absolutely cannot keep the gifts they receive. Being a young member of the British royal family comes with a multitude of privileges and responsibilities, including navigating the intricacies of receiving gifts from well-wishers around the world. Prince George, from a tender age, has been the recipient of a substantial number of presents, reflecting both his status and the public's fascination with the royal family. At just 18 months old, Prince George received a staggering 774 gifts in a single year, as reported by Kensington Palace via CNBC in 2014. This number was notably 7 times more than the gifts received by Queen Elizabeth II during the same period, highlighting the intense public interest and generosity directed towards the youngest heir to the throne. However, despite the abundance of gifts showered upon young royals like Prince George, there are strict guidelines governing what they can and cannot retain. These rules are designed to uphold the integrity and impartiality of the monarchy, ensuring that royal family members do not appear to be influenced or indebted to gift givers. According to the official website of the royal family, gifts from individuals who are not personally known to the royal family must adhere to specific criteria to be accepted. Acceptable gifts include consumable items such as flowers or food within reasonable limits, books given by the author with non-controversial content, and small items valued at less than $150, approximately $196 USD. These guidelines aim to prevent any perception that the royal recipient may feel obliged to the donor, thereby maintaining the independence and neutrality expected of the monarchy. The fundamental principle underlying these rules is articulated clearly by the royal family, to ensure that members are not, and do not appear to be, under any obligation to those who present them with gifts. This principle underscores the monarchy's commitment to impartiality and integrity in all aspects of their public and private interactions. Number 2. Princes are only allowed to wear shorts even if they don't like it. For young Prince George, his wardrobe choices, particularly his preference for shorts, are not merely a matter of personal comfort, but a reflection of these entrenched traditions. Unlike his father, Prince William, who is seldom seen in public wearing shorts, Prince George frequently sports this attire. According to etiquette expert William Hanson, this distinction is rooted in subtle class distinctions prevalent in British society. Hanson explains that trousers, or long pants, are traditionally worn by older boys and men. In contrast, shorts are considered a marker of childhood and are associated with a certain upper-class or aristocratic upbringing. This distinction aligns with historical norms where upper-class families, including royalty, dressed their young boys in shorts until a certain age. The transition from shorts to trousers marks a significant milestone in a royal boy's upbringing. According to Hanson, royal protocol suggests that boys typically graduate to trousers around the age of 8. This transition signifies a step towards a more mature and formal appearance, aligning with the expectations of royal decorum and presentation. Public appearances of Prince George, such as at weddings, have provided glimpses into these sartorial traditions. For instance, during the weddings of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, as well as Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank, observers noted Prince George wearing trousers, a departure from his usual shorts. However, as Hanson noted in 2018, It was anticipated that it would be a few more years before trousers become a consistent wardrobe staple for the young prince. Number 3. They are forbidden from traveling with other heirs. The travel arrangements of heirs to the British throne have historically been governed by a cautious protocol that emphasizes safety and succession planning. This protocol, which discouraged multiple heirs from traveling together, stems from a somber consideration: to mitigate the risk of losing multiple heirs in the event of a tragic accident. According to reports from the BBC, this guideline was firmly in place for members of the royal family in the past. The rationale behind it was rooted in practicality and the need to safeguard the continuity of the monarchy. By ensuring that heirs traveled separately, the risk of a catastrophic loss to the line of succession could be minimized in the unlikely event of an aviation accident or similar unforeseen circumstances. Despite the historical adherence to this guideline, recent observations and reports indicate some flexibility, particularly in the case of Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton's children. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis have been seen accompanying their parents on family vacations and official tours. This departure from tradition suggests a nuanced approach to royal travel arrangements in modern times. The change in practice does not signify a formal rule alteration, but rather an exception granted to Prince William and his family. As noted by the Royal Press Office in statements to the BBC, there is no official rule mandating separate travel for heirs. Instead, Prince William sought and received permission from Queen Elizabeth II to travel with his children. The Queen, as the ultimate authority on matters concerning the royal family, granted her approval for these arrangements. Number 4. They can't date like normal people but have to go through a bunch of permission processes. When the time eventually comes for the children of Prince Harry and Prince William to navigate the complexities of dating and marriage, they will find themselves bound by a set of stringent rules and protocols that accompany their royal status. While still too young for such considerations now, these protocols are deeply ingrained in the traditions and governance of the British monarchy, ensuring the preservation of its lineage and upholding its societal and ceremonial standards. One of the foremost rules governing royal marriages is rooted in the Royal Marriages Act of 1772. This historic legislation dictates that all descendants of King George II, the reigning monarch at the time of the Act's enactment, must seek the sovereign's permission before marrying. For modern-day royals, this means that any potential marriage plans must first be presented to and approved by the reigning monarch, in this case, Queen Elizabeth II. The requirement to obtain the Queen's consent before marriage serves several purposes within the royal family. It ensures that unions involving members of the monarchy are conducted with careful consideration of their responsibilities and obligations to the institution. Moreover, it upholds the monarchy's role as a symbol of national continuity and stability by safeguarding the integrity of royal alliances and marriages. Beyond seeking approval for marriage, there are additional protocols that must be observed by members of the royal family. This includes obtaining approval for their wedding attire, which is also subject to scrutiny and clearance by the Queen or her designated representatives. The approval process ensures that royal weddings adhere to the traditions and standards associated with such significant and public events. Number 5. The children were forced to stop eating even though they were still hungry when the Queen finished her meal. The dining customs and etiquettes observed by the British royal family, especially when dining with the Queen, are steeped in tradition and protocol that reflect centuries of aristocratic and royal norms. These rules not only govern table manners, but also symbolize respect, hierarchy, and adherence to royal protocol during formal meals. One of the most notable dining etiquettes in the presence of the Queen is the rule that dictates royal family members cannot continue eating once the Queen has finished her meal. This custom underscores the Queen's position as the head of state and the highest-ranking member of the royal family, emphasizing respect and deference to her status. This protocol extends beyond mere table manners. It embodies the hierarchical structure of the monarchy and reinforces the ceremonial role of the sovereign in state affairs. By ceasing to eat when the Queen finishes her meal, royal family members demonstrate acknowledgement of her leadership and authority, aligning with the ceremonial duties and traditions of the monarchy. In addition to the timing of eating, other dining etiquettes observed by the royal family include the proper use of utensils, handling of cutlery, and folding of napkins. These practices are not only about decorum but also serve to uphold the dignity and formality associated with royal engagements and state functions. For instance, the correct way to hold utensils is with the fork in the left hand and the knife in the right hand, a practice that aligns with traditional British dining customs. This methodical approach to eating reflects the royal family's commitment to maintaining cultural traditions and etiquette standards that have evolved over centuries. Furthermore, the folding of napkins is also subject to specific guidelines. A neatly folded napkin placed on the lap signifies readiness to dine and attentiveness to the meal. It is considered polite and respectful to adhere to these practices as they demonstrate an understanding and appreciation for the rituals and customs that accompany royal dining experiences. Number 6. Even if they want to, royal children are absolutely forbidden from having nicknames. In the intricate world of the British royal family, even the seemingly simple matter of nicknames holds significance, reflecting traditions and protocols that shape the public perception and private lives of its members. Among these customs is the rule that children of the royal family are not bestowed with nicknames, regardless of how endearing or commonplace they may be in everyday life. This tradition extends to young Prince George, who, despite being just a little boy, is formally addressed by his official title, His Royal Highness Prince George of Cambridge. This title serves not only as a mark of his royal lineage and position within the monarchy, but also underscores the formalities and protocols that govern the lives of royal children from an early age. The prohibition on nicknames for royal children is rooted in several considerations that emphasize the importance of maintaining respect, dignity, and clarity in their public identities. Unlike many children who might go by diminutive forms of their given names, such as George being called Georgie, G, or similar affectionate terms, royal children are consistently referred to by their full official titles in formal and official settings. This practice ensures consistency and clarity in communications involving members of the royal family, particularly in official announcements, engagements, and ceremonial occasions. By using their full titles, the royal children are identified with the gravity and responsibilities associated with their roles as potential future monarchs or prominent figures within the monarchy. Moreover, the avoidance of nicknames aligns with the monarchy's emphasis on tradition and continuity, preserving the historical practices that have defined the royal family's identity and public perception over generations. It reinforces the notion that members of the royal family are symbols of national unity and continuity, embodying the values and ideals that transcend individual personalities or casual familiarity. Number 7. They are forced to speak foreign languages. Learning foreign languages has long been a tradition within the British royal family, although it is not a formal requirement. Throughout history, members of the royal family have often been encouraged to study and become proficient in languages beyond English. This practice reflects both practical considerations for diplomatic and international engagements and a broader cultural appreciation. Queen Elizabeth II herself is fluent in French, a skill she likely acquired during her childhood education. This proficiency in French has not only facilitated her interactions with French-speaking dignitaries, but has also symbolized the royal family's commitment to engaging with diverse cultures and communities. The Queen's children have also followed suit in embracing foreign languages. According to reports, all of Queen Elizabeth's children, including Prince Charles, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward, are proficient in French. This proficiency extends to her grandchildren as well, with notable instances of them demonstrating their language abilities in public settings. Prince William, the Queen's grandson and second in line to the throne, has shown a grasp of French, having been observed conversing in the language during a visit to Quebec in 2011. While not necessarily fluent, his ability to communicate in French highlights his efforts to uphold the family tradition of linguistic versatility. Additionally, Prince William has also dabbled in other languages such as Welsh and Swahili, demonstrating a broader interest in diverse linguistic and cultural experiences. His younger brother, Prince Harry, has also been noted for speaking a foreign language. During a fundraiser in Dubai in 2013, Prince Harry engaged with attendees in Arabic, showcasing his willingness to engage and connect with individuals from different linguistic backgrounds. The trend of language learning continues with the younger generation of the royal family. Duchess Kate Middleton, wife of Prince William, revealed that their children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, began learning Spanish at very young ages, 3 and 2 years old, respectively. This initiative not only exposes them to another language early in life, but also underscores the family's commitment to raising culturally aware and globally engaged children. Looking forward, it is anticipated that Prince Louis, the youngest child of Prince William and Duchess Kate, as well as their subsequent children, will also embark on a journey of language learning. This approach not only prepares them for future roles within the royal family, but also equips them with skills that are increasingly valuable in a globalized world. Number 8. They are only allowed one kind of waving hand. Princess Charlotte's charming Windsor wave has captured hearts worldwide, showcasing her innate grace and early familiarity with public appearances, alongside her parents, Prince William and Duchess Kate. This endearing gesture, likely picked up by observing her parents' interactions with well-wishers, reflects the natural development of a royal child in the public eye. However, as she grows older and approaches school age, Princess Charlotte will begin to learn and adopt more formal royal protocols, including specific greetings expected of her within royal circles. According to royal historian and expert Marlene Koenig, royal children such as Princess Charlotte are expected to begin performing formal greetings like curtsying or bowing to the Queen by around the age of 5. This transition marks a significant step in their upbringing, emphasizing respect and adherence to royal traditions. Koenig clarifies that these formal greetings are reserved exclusively for the monarch herself and are not extended to other members of the royal family, regardless of their status. Contrary to popular misconception, Koenig dispels the notion that royals curtsy or bow to each other. She emphasizes that, while there are articles suggesting otherwise, the protocol dictates that a royal highness does not perform such formalities for another royal highness. This distinction underscores the hierarchical structure within the royal family and ensures that gestures of respect are reserved appropriately. For Prince George, Charlotte's elder brother, this transition likely began around his 5th birthday in 2018. It is reasonable to assume that by this time, Prince George had started to practice and understand the protocol of bowing in the presence of the Queen during private family gatherings. This initiation into royal etiquette prepares him, and now Princess Charlotte, for their future roles within the monarchy, where adherence to tradition and protocol plays a crucial role in their public and ceremonial duties. Number 9. They must be baptized even if they don't want to. The tradition of christenings holds a significant place within the British royal family, reflecting both religious continuity and ceremonial customs that have endured for centuries. Despite broader societal trends showing a decline in baptisms, particularly within the Church of England, royal baptisms continue to be observed with ceremonial pomp and adherence to tradition. As reported by the BBC in 2013, infant baptisms across England had seen a notable decline over recent decades. In the 1980s, approximately 1 in 3 children were christened by the Church of England. However, by 2011, this figure had dropped significantly, with only 1 in 10 infants undergoing baptism. Adult baptisms had also witnessed a similar decline during this period, highlighting shifting attitudes towards religious rituals and affiliations. Amidst these trends, the British royal family remains steadfast in its observance of christenings. Each new generation born into the royal family, including the children of Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, has participated in this age-old tradition. These ceremonies not only mark a child's formal introduction to the Christian faith, but also symbolize their familial and dynastic connections within the monarchy. The significance of christenings within the royal family is rooted in its historical ties to the Church of England. The royal family's relationship with the Church dates back centuries, notably reaffirmed during the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Upon her ascension to the throne, Queen Elizabeth took an oath pledging to uphold and protect the Church of England, including its doctrines, worship practices, and governance, as established by English law. This oath underscores the monarchy's role in maintaining the spiritual and ceremonial traditions integral to the nation's identity. Recent royal events have underscored the ongoing relevance of christenings within the royal calendar. Prior to her marriage to Prince Harry in 2018, Meghan Markle underwent baptism into the Church of England, aligning with the royal family's religious customs and traditions. This personal commitment to the Church exemplifies the importance placed on religious observance and continuity within royal life. Number 10. They are forced to undergo etiquette training. The upbringing of British royal children involves early and comprehensive training in etiquette and protocol, setting them apart from typical childhood experiences. While many parents prioritize teaching basic manners like saying please and thank you, respecting elders, and exhibiting good table manners, royal children undergo a more formalized education in etiquette from a young age. The research highlighted by Express in 2015 underscored the importance British parents place on teaching fundamental manners to their children. These values of respect and decorum resonate widely across British society, reflecting cultural norms and expectations. However, for royal children such as those of Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton, formal etiquette training begins as soon as they are old enough to participate in formal meals and public events. According to etiquette expert Micah Meyer, royal children are immersed in a structured environment where they learn everything from appropriate voice levels to dressing correctly and performing formal gestures like curtsying and bowing. Meyer emphasizes that this training is not just about learning manners, but also about preparing the young royals for their future roles within the monarchy. This includes attending formal events, where adherence to protocol and decorum is crucial. The training extends to specific behaviors required at significant royal occasions, such as weddings, where the children practice extensively during rehearsals to master wedding-specific etiquette and protocol. The context of royal weddings in 2018, which saw both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding and Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank's wedding, heightened the training regimen for the royal children. These occasions provided practical opportunities for the young princes and princesses to refine their skills under real-world conditions, ensuring they could confidently uphold royal traditions during public ceremonies. Number 11. A child's passport is indispensable. The use of passports within the British royal family is governed by specific rules and exemptions that reflect their unique status and role within the United Kingdom and abroad. While it may seem that the high visibility of key royal figures would exempt them from such requirements, there are distinct regulations that apply. At the apex of these rules is Queen Elizabeth II, who, as the sovereign, is exempt from needing a passport. This exemption is rooted in the fact that British passports are issued in the name of the Queen herself. According to the official website of the royal family, this makes possessing a passport unnecessary for Her Majesty. However, this exemption applies exclusively to Queen Elizabeth II. All other members of the royal family, including the Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince of Wales, and other senior royals, are required to hold valid passports for international travel. This regulation ensures that they adhere to standard travel procedures like any other British citizen or resident. For the younger generation of royals, including Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, children of Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton, the requirement for passports is equally applicable. Despite their tender ages, these young royals have already accrued significant travel experience. Prince George and Princess Charlotte, for instance, have accompanied their parents on notable trips to countries like Australia and New Zealand, necessitating the issuance of baby passports for their travel. Similarly, when Prince Louis joined his family on a trip to Mustique in the summer of 2018, it was presumed that he too had been issued a passport to facilitate his international travel. This adherence to travel protocols underscores the royal family's commitment to complying with legal and administrative requirements, even from a young age. Number 12. They can't eat what they like. When it comes to feeding royal babies, the British royal family takes a distinctly hands-on approach, eschewing store-bought baby food in favor of meticulously prepared meals crafted by a team of personal chefs. This culinary tradition, upheld for generations, reflects both the royal family's preferences and their commitment to maintaining high standards of nutrition and care for their youngest members. During Duchess Kate Middleton's pregnancy with their first child, Prince George, an organic baby food brand gifted a crate of ready-to-eat purees to Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. While such gestures are graciously accepted, as former royal chef Darren McGrady explains, it's unlikely that packaged food plays any role in the royal baby's diets. McGrady, who served as the Queen's chef and also prepared meals for Princes William and Harry during their childhood, emphasizes the royal family's reliance on their team of skilled chefs rather than commercially available baby food. In McGrady's experience, the early meals for royal infants were meticulously prepared to ensure freshness, quality, and nutritional balance. For instance, the first solid foods introduced to Princes William and Harry were pureed steamed apples and pears, strained meticulously to remove any lumps, a process indicative of the meticulous care taken in their upbringing. As the princes grew older, their meals became more complex, yet still carefully crafted. McGrady describes a coordinated effort in the royal kitchens, with different chefs responsible for preparing various components of their meals: chicken, vegetables, and other ingredients, all of which were blended together to meet the infant's dietary needs. This collaborative approach highlights the scale and precision involved in catering to the nutritional requirements of royal children. Number 13. They only study in private schools. Education has long been a carefully considered aspect of royal upbringing, blending tradition with modern educational practices to meet the unique needs and responsibilities of British royalty. Unlike most parents who have the freedom to choose their children's educational paths, royal princes and princesses are obliged to attend private schools, marking a departure from historical practices where royal children were predominantly educated at home under the guidance of governesses or private tutors. Historically, Queen Elizabeth II and her sister Princess Margaret received their education through private tutors within the confines of their royal residences. This tradition of home-based education was common among previous generations of royals, reflecting both the desire for privacy and the need to maintain security and continuity within the royal household. However, in a modern shift, Prince William and Duchess Kate Middleton opted for a formal educational setting for their children, starting with nursery school, followed by private elementary education. This approach, not only reflects changing societal norms, but also acknowledges the benefits of structured learning environments for early childhood development. Prince George, the eldest child of Prince William and Duchess Kate, began his educational journey at a formal nursery school, which provided a foundation for socialization and early learning. He later transitioned to a private elementary school in London, where he continued his education along with his younger sister, Princess Charlotte. Looking ahead, it is anticipated that both Prince George and Princess Charlotte will eventually move on to boarding school during their early teenage years, continuing a tradition observed by previous generations of British royalty. Boarding school offers a structured environment that fosters independence, academic excellence, and personal development, preparing them for future roles within the royal family and broader society. A notable aspect of royal education is the consideration of gap years, a practice embraced by both Prince William and Prince Harry before their university studies. A gap year typically involves travel, volunteer work, or other enriching experiences undertaken between finishing secondary education and starting university. This period allows young royals to explore different cultures, gain life experience, and contribute to charitable causes, reflecting their personal interests and commitments. Number 14. Not only children but also royal members are banned from playing Monopoly. In the world of the British royal family, even the choice of games played by its members carries significance and adherence to certain protocols. One such intriguing rule surrounds the board game Monopoly, which is notably absent from royal playrooms and family gatherings. The reason behind this prohibition lies in the perceived unsuitability of the game's competitive and potentially contentious nature for royal children and adults alike. Monopoly, a beloved classic board game worldwide, revolves around players competing to acquire properties, build monopolies, and bankrupt opponents. Its strategic gameplay involves negotiation, deal-making, and occasionally ruthless tactics, all elements that can evoke strong emotions and competitive behavior among participants. The decision to exclude Monopoly from royal leisure activities reflects a broader concern within the royal family to maintain harmony, decorum, and positive interactions during their private moments together. The game's potential to escalate into arguments or disputes is considered contrary to the values of unity and mutual respect that the royal family strives to uphold, both publicly and privately. This prohibition is not merely confined to the younger generation of royals. Adults within the royal family are also discouraged from engaging in Monopoly for similar reasons. The avoidance of competitive games like Monopoly is seen as a measure to prevent any possibility of discord or conflict arising among family members during leisure time, which is valued as a time for relaxation and bonding. Number 15. Their speech is limited. In the carefully orchestrated world of the British royal family, even everyday language is subject to specific rules and conventions aimed at upholding tradition, decorum, and cultural sensitivity. Among these guidelines are certain words that members of the royal family are encouraged to avoid or substitute with more refined alternatives, reflecting a commitment to maintaining a dignified and respectful demeanor in all public and private interactions. One notable example is the avoidance of the word bathroom, which is considered too informal or potentially indelicate for royal use. Instead, members of the royal family are encouraged to use the term lavatory when referring to facilities for personal hygiene. This substitution reflects a preference for language that is more formal and avoids any hint of impropriety or casualness, aligning with the dignified image and protocol upheld by the monarchy. Similarly, the word perfume is also discouraged within royal circles, with the preferred term being scent. This linguistic choice is rooted in historical and cultural sensitivities, as perfume may be perceived as overly commercial or lacking in refinement compared to the more elegant connotations associated with scent. By opting for scent, Members of the royal family adhere to language that evokes sophistication and cultural awareness, reflecting their role as ambassadors of British tradition and etiquette. What do you think about the strict rules royal children are forced to follow? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.